safer for them. Slow down or move over. It's the law. Captain Nick in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
Public service announcement. Please wash your hands. Wash your hands. 20 seconds, it's over.
If you're sick with COVID-19 or think you might have it, take steps to help protect other people from getting sick. Stay home except to get medical care. Call the doctor before visiting. Separate yourself from others who live with you. Wear a cloth face covering to protect others. Cover your coughs and sneezes with a tissue and clean your hands right away. Avoid sharing items with other people in your home. This includes things like towels and bedding. Be sure dishes are washed in hot water or the dishwasher before anyone else uses them. Stay aware of how you feel. If you start to have difficulty breathing or if you're worried about your health, call your doctor. For more tips, visit cdc.gov.
Hallelujah. Jehovah God Almighty.
Hey, this is Jamel Strong, and your message of praise from the New Living Translation of the Bible is Philippians 4, verse 6. Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank Him for all He has done. Get your message of praise at WJOU.org. I'm Jamel Strong, and this is Oakwood University Radio.
Clap! Applaud Him in His excellency. Dance before me.
It's 8:32 in the Tennessee Valley. Thank you for joining us. Come on and join us on Facebook and on YouTube. We're at Facebook at Praise 90.1 FM, WJOU, and on YouTube at the same address. So come on and join us because we have an amazing interview, inspiring interview, and chat. We're going to call it, I hate to call it interview, actually. I like to call them chats because that's what I'm really doing. We're having a breakfast chat, and it's not all that formal or anything, but this one really means a lot to me because this is featuring Cleveland Murphy Wilson. It's you. Good morning and welcome to Morning Joy and our breakfast chat. And also with him is his daughter, Danita Jones. She's with us as well. And we're going to talk about,
to be here.
oh my goodness, not the mics acting up again. All right, so I didn't pick that one up. So what we're going to do is we're going to change mics while we're talking. But I wanted to, Murphy, thank you for being here, first of all.
Thank you for having me.
So we want to definitely talk about the Inspirational Choir because the elephant in the room is that it's actually retiring.
That is true. It is no longer an elephant. It is a fact.
It is a fact.
It is a fact.
And it's coming, and it's happening on February the 22nd.
Yes.
And how you feeling about that?
Emotional, but it's time. You know, you have to. I used to tell Jean and Danita that if I get to a point when you see me stumbling around up there in front of the choir trying to direct, you pull me off. If I don't have enough sense to stop on my own, you pull me off, so I won't do that. And but interestingly enough, you get to the point, and a lot of things have changed. It's a different time. It's a different era. A lot of the folk who started with us back in 1975, all of them, most of them are gone. A lot of the members of the church who were advocates, and they encouraged us and used to go with us on our tours. A lot of them are gone, and times change. And the other thing for me is you don't want to get in the way of somebody else who needs to start the same way we did. I started the choir in 1975, and in fact, Elder D.B. Reed is why I started the choir. He came to my house to counsel with my brother Russell because he was getting baptized.
Really?
At First Church. And they talked and whatnot. And then on his way out the door, Elder Reed, he looks at me and he says, you need to start a choir. People your age.
Elder Reed did that. Pastor
He
Reed.
did that, and I looked at him. I said, "Well," and at the time, Antoinette and I was at First Baptist. He said, "Yeah, we need another choir, to add to the music and stuff." And so I did.
Okay.
I picked up a lot of my friends that were still at Oakwood or hadn't left Oakwood. They were like me. They were still in the area. And so I started this little group, and we came together. In fact, what we're singing now is not what we started with. We were doing anthems and spirituals and
Really? Now, I didn't remember that.
well,
Anthems and spirituals.
Yeah, you were a little girl.
I do not remember that.
And you were still walking around with your thumb in your mouth. So of course you didn't remember.
No, not in 75 now. No, I wasn't. I was in the 5th grade.
Okay, well that don't mean you didn't have your thumb in your mouth. And at any rate, we were singing that, and we had a sanctuary choir at the time that was singing, and Lillian Red Cross actually was our first pianist.
Wow, I didn't realize that either.
Because we weren't singing gospel per se.
Right, because, yeah,
and so she was our first pianist. And so it got to the point where there was another choir, the sanctuary choir was there, and they were singing, and ultimately, we were pretty much singing the same thing.
Yeah.
And then people started making comparisons, and they said, "Oh, why don't y'all just combine?" Well, I didn't want to combine, and the director at that time was Stanley McCall. Yeah, I called your name.
Yes, I remember him directing. Yeah,
and we were in different veins, so to speak. So I got the idea that maybe we'll just ease into some other music, not leave the spirituals and stuff completely, but just do something, make us a little different, so they would stop the comparison.
Right.
Y'all should combine, and y'all should just take over. Anyway, we started easing into gospel, and that's when Antoinette started to play.
Okay.
And the first 2 songs we learned was "God is Still Working Miracles,"
Right.
and
Give Me a Clean Heart.
"Give Me a Clean Heart."
Ooh-wee.
And that's when we started. In fact, when we started the concert, those are going to be the first 2 songs we do.
Wow.
That's where we started. And then it started growing and whatnot, and we didn't have a name. A lot of the people, and it was a small group, it wasn't a big choir.
Right.
A lot of the folk who were there, the singing they weren't members of First Church. Not that they had to be, but nobody really knew them. And Elder Reed would get up and introduce us as Murphy's Band of Mercenaries.
Oh my goodness!
And he did it more than once. But he was people who knew Elder Reed. He said what he was thinking, But over the years, it started to grow and grow, and Antoinette at this point was playing, and we just kind of evolved into where we are now. It's an interesting. It developed in a lot of different ways. People say, "Well, how did you all do this?" And Antoinette didn't have an answer for that, and neither did I.
I don't think they started out, and
Right.
I think that's one of the reasons why the choir lasted as long as it did, or as long as it has, because neither of my parents started out like, "Oh, we're going to create this massive," and in fact, growing up, in not knowing anything else other than this choir, growing up in that, they would. Literally every time they would sing, they would get in the car and be like, "Okay, well, did we do okay today?"
Right.
And I'm like, "What are you saying?" Like, there were 80 people. I don't understand what the question, but they genuinely just would walk into every service, regardless of where it was, regardless of what they were doing, with this genuine spirit of wanting to just praise the Lord.
Right.
That was the only
Just
thing,
worship.
And I think when you go into anything with a genuine spirit, like my parents did with this choir, then you're going to see it last this long through everything that they have been through. So that is one of the definite things that I think is one of the things we as the daughters essentially are trying to highlight.
Right.
Because he's not going to highlight it. He's going to talk from the humble aspect. We're talking from the giving the man his flowers, while he's here. So
Well,
Wow.
we never thought about. There was never a plan as to how long we were going to do it, or how what we need to make a lot of records and recordings.
It was never that.
We never talked about stuff.
They
like
just wanted
that.
to sing.
We just we needed some more music at the church at the time, because when we did start, there was only one choir. We didn't have a children's choir. We didn't have a youth choir. It was just the sanctuary choir at that time. And if they didn't sing, we had some special groups that would come in from time to time and sing. Ted Reach had a group that used to sing on Sabbath, Voices Unlimited. I think, you know. So that would help. But we just never. I'll be honest with you. This whole 50-year thing is wiping me out.
Yeah.
I had no
imagine.
idea that we would go. Nobody was counting. And we've had a chance to do a lot of things.
Yes, a lot.
We have a chance to do a lot of things over the years.
So when Antoinette though joined the choir, she really brought a lot of influence and she helped create the sound that you all ultimately became.
I
right?
mean to interrupt you. Let me just say this. And I've said this before. I've been saying it for years. Antoinette was the engine of that choir.
Yes.
All I did was steer. She was the engine of that bus. She was the heart of that. We would sit down sometimes and listen to records, and we didn't use sheet music. We'd hear a song, and she liked it, I liked it, and then we'd go to the piano and we'd work out the parts. Speaking of daughters,
Yes.
on Friday night sometimes we
would get dragged into the living room.
Well, there were Friday nights where we wanted to teach a song that Sabbath afternoon to the choir, and I'd go upstairs and wake these rascals up.
Right. Oh my goodness.
And they'd come down, they'd be all sleepy-eyed, and Antoinette said, "Sing this." And then Gina would sing the alto, Janita sang the soprano, and of course I was singing the tenor.
Right.
And we would work out arrangements with these two girls sitting on the couch falling asleep.
And this is like kid and teenage years. And so that's where a lot of the different arrangements that if you go back and try to listen to the original recorded version of they don't sound like what the inspirational choir would do. And so they were known for that.
Yeah.
People would re-sing songs that were actually arranged by mom and daddy to fit the inspirational choir.
And you know what? We're so glad that you two came along, because he stopped calling us up. You alto, you tenor, you soprano, come up here and sing it.
Exactly.
That kind of faded away when the girls came. So now we know y'all were using them.
What we were doing, and a lot of folks, wow, like that. Well, it's like buying a suit. It's a nice suit. You like the suit, but I don't wear the same size as, say, your husband would wear in that same suit. You fit the suit. You tailor it to fit the person.
Right.
And so we knew what our strengths were in the choir. We knew what sections could handle, would be able to do. We knew the sound that we were looking for, and we would tailor the song. We didn't try to rewrite it, just kind of fix it so it fit who we had.
Right.
And that's why a lot of the songs, my favorite example of that is the song Hawkins, Give Us This Day.
Yes, I love
Give
that
Us
one.
This Day by Hawkins, a beautiful song, and we loved it. But then when we took it up, we slowed it down, and we just kind of stretched some things here and there. The same song, just more to what we do. And where our strengths are. And so that's where a lot of the songs come from. I think my brother-in-law, the late Pastor Wayne P. Snodgrass, he said the combination of Antoinette with the Baptist background and myself being an Adventist, lifetime Adventist and whatnot, and there's a different emphasis sometimes with harmony. He said the combination of the harmony that we were putting together with the Spirit, that's the sound that people hear.
And this is the sound we're listening to right here. Just an example of what you're talking about. This is The Lord is Blessing Me, rearranged by Antoinette. Let's listen to that.
glad for it. Damn.
Wow.
Everybody wanted to sing in that choir
Oh,
back
man,
then, you know, and everybody wanted to sing like Antoinette as well. Who didn't want to
Listen,
sing like
including
Antoinette?
her
Come on,
daughters.
right?
Including her daughters. Like,
Yes.
that absolutely.
That is like the signature sound
Yeah.
of
Absolutely.
inspirational choir. And then were we inspirational choir at that point when that song was sung just now?
That was in the 90s, yeah.
Well, was my hair all black?
No.
No, it wasn't. It was black though primarily. It
Yeah,
was
but,
black.
but there was gray in there. So I
It-
think they changed over, I believe, in 88 or
Uh-huh.
87 when they, under Robert Leslie Willis, I remember that they got renamed the Inspirational Choir because they were the young adult choir for
Right,
a
right.
very long time.
Right, and so
Until
that's
Daddy started going crazy.
and that's when I have to tell my story about getting approved to be a part of the choir when I wasn't a young adult. But anyway, we'll let that save that for another time.
The
Yeah.
story behind that is I got up one morning and we were getting ready for church and I was shaving and I looked at my hair and I was like, I can't be the director of a young adult choir. I'm not a young adult, and neither are most of them.
Right.
And so we talked about it, and we came up with the Inspirational Choir.
Right. So listen, this choir has been around for a long time. It's done some recordings as well. Has also backed up some artists. Some of those artists include Shirley Caesar, Larnell Harris, Daryl Coley, but most importantly, the recording that received a gold record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was Kenny Rogers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, we're going to play that later on. I'm not going to play it because I want to spend some more time talking to you guys. But we're going to play that song. If you all listen, the song was
Something inside
Something
so strong.
Inside.
Yeah.
Is that a Christian song?
It is. Well, it's an
Yeah.
inspirational song.
Hey,
What's
very
funny is that
suitable.
Mama would not do, because I think they got approached more than once to do different songs for different
Right.
people. Back in the 80s, it was a thing to have a black gospel choir backing you up. In fact,
Right.
if you listen to all 80s songs,
Yeah, that's
somewhere
true.
on the album, a black
That's
gospel
true.
choir is going to be singing
Yeah.
behind somebody. And so they would get a lot of phone calls, and Mama would turn them down. And her thing was like, "What are the lyrics? What do
Right,
the lyrics say?"
exactly.
And she would hear the lyrics, be like, "No." And my favorite thing is she would say, "Them lyrics ain't saying nothing."
Well,
She might have come up with the 7-Eleven song.
The story behind that song is I was outside cutting the grass. And she came out and stopped me and said, I'm talking to some guy from Warner Brothers. They want to know if we I said, well, who is it?
No big deal.
And she told me the name, and I said, well, what does he want? She said, he wants us to do this song, Something Inside So Strong. And I said, well, I know what you asked him, what are the words? And she said, you know I did. She said, I think we can do it. You want to get involved? I said, okay. And that was it.
Wow.
And then weeks later, we heard from them. And what happened was some members of Take Six were in the Warner Brothers studio, and the producer was talking about that song with Kenny Rogers. And they knew he wanted a choir to back him up, and they suggested that they talk to us.
What's funny about that story, though, is that in classic inspirational choir form, Mama and Daddy get the music. They don't like the background vocal arrangement, so they rearranged it,
Wow.
taught it to the choir. They sang it in the studio, and when they sent it back to Kenny Rogers, he had to redo his part.
Wow.
So the version that people hear on the album was not even the original version. It was a combination of
Yeah, we didn't change it.
They did. They did.
Oh, we just made a couple of note adjustments, very slight.
The man had to go and re-record the song.
His own song. My
And
goodness,
so that's
power.
the part. And then one day we're sitting at home because we hadn't heard. Mom and Daddy, they'll do stuff and they never talk about it again.
Yeah.
Like it was like it wasn't even a
Right.
thing. And we're sitting at home and UPS knocks on the door.
No,
Wait, go ahead.
That's not.
That's what it looked like from my 8-year-old perspective.
Janita gets to rolling sometimes. And
Suddenly.
anyway, we came home from church.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
We came home from church. It was a Sabbath. There's this package on the front porch. And we're going in the door, and Antoinette looked at the package. She said, "Did you order something?" I said, "Why I got to be me to order something? Maybe one of your daughters ordered something." No, I didn't order nothing. And we went on in the house, and I put it on the kitchen table, and we were standing there talking, and I opened it up, and there's this gold record. Because it had sold
About 500,000 copies.
half a
Yeah.
million
Wow.
copies.
500.
And because we were a part of it,
You got a copy?
we got sold. We have a gold record.
What a great accomplishment. But I would assume that even though the choir has accomplished a lot of things by performing, even here in the Tennessee Valley and around the world and different areas in the United States, the most thing that I'm sure you're proud of is how you have inspired people to follow Christ.
I would have to agree with that.
Because that's what the choir has done.
That's what it was really all about.
And rehearsals were just like, you coming to worship. Okay, you're not
Absolutely.
coming to you're coming to learn a song, but you're coming to worship. And that was the experience that most of us, I would say, would come to the choir and rehearsal about. So we do thank you for that. Now, the choir is coming to a retirement on the 22nd, and there's a
Yes.
big weekend. So what's happening?
Huge weekend. So the weekend starting on February 21st,
Okay.
we're going to do a sing-along / rehearsal. But we're
Okay.
inviting everybody in. Like if you've been inspired by the choir, if you've been blessed by the choir, you can come in and sit into this very open rehearsal / where we're going to be doing some songs that will be in the concert, a lot that won't be. Some that we may even do a couple of requests or two, where it's just really just allowing people to have that rehearsal experience. And I think one of the most beautiful things about the Inspirational Choir is the uniqueness of the worship-filled rehearsal.
Right.
And so if you've ever wanted to just sit in an Inspirational Choir rehearsal and have that experience, that'll be that Friday night. And then Sabbath morning at First Church, we're going to be doing what we have been doing for Fourth Sabbath for 50 years. And worshiping at First Seventh-day
Amen.
Adventist Church on Evangel Drive. And then Saturday night, we have painstakingly, I can say, gone through a list
Okay.
to be able to include songs. It is very difficult to pick a certain amount
Yeah,
of
I
songs
can imagine.
from over 50 years.
Yeah.
But we found the songs that we think highlight each part of the choir's legacy. And we're singing those songs. And it's not a long concert in the tradition of the
Yeah.
Inspirational Choir, And there'll be some talking and some tears, I'm sure. We
Yeah.
know there'll be tears.
Yeah.
But we are just inviting everybody to come that evening and share with us on the February 22nd. Come the whole weekend. Stay the
The
whole weekend. and
21st
hang
is
out
the
at-
sing along, and I think
Yes.
that's really I really like that idea.
Yeah.
Everybody can come and sing along with us. How many members do you think have been in the choir over the years?
Let me say something, and I don't want to sound morbid or anything, but we have made a list. We're going to acknowledge those members who have passed away. And the list is like 50 names.
50 that passed away. That's the whole choir.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wow.
50. We're still looking and making sure we want to acknowledge everybody. We can't do pictures and stuff because we can't get all of these pictures. But I can give you 50 names
Wow.
of people who have been in that choir who have passed away. And when you look at that, and in fact, when you look at some of our old tapes that they have, and you see all these folk, and a lot of them are gone, and yet we still were running 50, 60, sometimes 70 people in the choir. So over
Right.
the years, I would They always tell me that
He doesn't count well. You asked him that question, and in my head, I'm just like, he's not going to answer this correctly.
What do you think it is?
I think it's more than 1,000.
Wow. I would say. Yeah,
and
I
you
would
see
agree.
if you guys are watching, he's shaking his head. But when you look at it, like, there was a time where there were 96 people in the choir stand.
Right.
Every choir stand except for the one in Evangel Drive when it was when we first got over there could not handle the size. When you look, even the clip that we were enjoying about the Lord is blessing me, the old Oakwood University Church, there was the actual choir that had about maybe 70 people in robes, and then there was an additional section of people that had about 30. So it wasn't unlike Daddy to have a minimum of 100 people per fourth Sabbath.
I agree.
So I think he is just going to rebuff this. I'm telling you, your listeners, Donna, it is not unlikely for him to have come in contact with thousands of singers.
I agree.
So absolutely,
it's got to be at least 1,000. Murphy, it has to be.
And he doesn't count. It's okay. You don't count.
Think about it. You said there have been 50 members that passed away.
Yeah.
Think about the members that you don't even remember that are still here. And then the ones that have been just constant over the years, that's another 100.
Yeah.
And then you've got another 100 of people that are coming back and forth, like,
the last Inspirational Choir reunion, we had about 200 people in the choir station.
Wow.
And so, and right now, I think the last rehearsal that I was able to attend had about 75, and not everybody was there. It was an off weekend. So
this is one of the last, because we're running out of time now. So all I wanted you to share with us is, share with us whether, if you've sang with the choir before or whatever, how can we get in touch with you to make sure that we want to come and sing? Because I know there are people that are listening, probably sang with the choir and want to come and be a part of this weekend. How do they get in touch with you? And
they can just show up.
Just show up on Friday night, the 22nd?
If you're not in town, you can show up on Friday night on the 21st. You know the songs. You know the songs. I was telling somebody the other day, these songs. Nothing is going to be a surprise. If you're in town, they're having rehearsal on Sabbath afternoons at 5 p.m. every week until the concert. And then hang out with them. Like they have rehearsal this coming Sabbath, Friday night at 6 p.m. Come sing on the fourth Sabbath. There are 2 left.
So there's no registration. We don't need to register. Just show up.
Just show up.
All righty. So you're on Facebook and you're on YouTube, and I see some of your comments. Go ahead and just put your tribute, put your comments of thanks to Murphy for directing this choir for over 50 years. It's been a blessing, and we thank you for watching and following us, and we'll follow up on your comments at a later date, but probably later today. But thank you guys for being with us
Thank you for having
today.
us.
You're going to be back. You got to be back the week of
that's
the
what she
concert.
told me.
Yes, you're going to be back the week of, and we're going to talk again about the Inspirational Choir and its legacy before the actual big weekend of the 22nd, where this choir is going to be retiring. Well, thank you so much for your ministry, and thanks for being with us for this breakfast chat on 90.1 FM WJOU.
Praise 90.1 FM.
Ready to take the next step in your education? Register today at Oakwood University and pursue your graduate degree. Choose your program: Master of Public Health, Master of Arts in Urban Ministries, Master of Business Administration, Master of Arts in Pastoral Studies, and now introducing the new Oakwood University Master of Social Work. You can complete your master's degree in as little as 1 to 2 years, completely online with competitive pricing, financial aid, and scholarships also available. If you're looking to further your career or take the next step in your educational journey, register today in Oakwood University's Graduate Studies program, where success has an address. For more information, 256-726-8091 or visit us at graduate.oakwood.edu.
WJOU Huntsville 90.1 FM, a broadcast service of Oakwood University.
There are some days when the dark clouds rain with pain, but yet and still I'm still holding on. Yeah, Lord. Listen, sometimes